So this isn't just a conversation about cars anymore. It's a conversation about how we power transportation in a volatile world. This is part 4 of our 5-part EV versus ICE series. We've talked about lots of things, including range, cost, and charging. Today we're going to zoom out. How do politics, policy, and global dynamics shape the future of U.S. automakers and whether the U.S. is positioned to lead or to fall behind? Automotive markets don't evolve in a vacuum. Governments influence emission standards, fuel economy requirements, tax credits, tariffs, and manufacturing incentives, just to name a few. For example, the Inflation Reduction Act reshaped EV manufacturing in the U.S. It incentivized domestic battery production, North American supply chains, and EV assembly in the U.S. That drove billions in announced investments. But policy uncertainty also slows investment. Automakers make 5 to 10-year capital decisions. So if policy changes every election cycle, that creates hesitation. So while the U.S. debates EV adoption, other countries are scaling aggressively. China has massive battery production capacity. They have vertical integration, lower cost manufacturing, and companies like BYD expanding globally. Europe, they have aggressive emission targets and mass adoption of electric vehicles. So the EV race isn't theoretical. It's happening. Here in America, U.S. automakers are navigating a complex landscape, labor dynamics, battery supply chains, massive capital investments, and shifting policy signals. But here's the key. These companies are making 5 to 10-year decisions, so new battery plants, new vehicle platforms, entire production line. That's billions of dollars. And those decisions depend on consistency. So when policy swings back and forth, whether it's tightening emission standards or rolling them back, it creates uncertainty. And uncertainty slows investment. Meanwhile, competitors globally are moving with more consistency and scale. That matters because in manufacturing, speed and stability often determine who leads and who falls behind. EVs have become politically symbolic, but vehicles shouldn't be culture war issues. They're industrial products. They're tied to supply chains, to jobs, to exports, and long-term competitiveness. And now, they're increasingly tied to energy security because the current system depends heavily on oil. Again, a globally traded commodity that's influenced by geopolitics, conflict, and supply disruptions. We've seen how quickly that can impact prices. Again, electricity is different. It can be generated from multiple domestic sources. I mentioned solar, wind, nuclear, and even natural gas. That diversification matters. So the real question isn't, do you like EVs? It's, where does the U.S. want to be in the next generation of transportation and energy? Leading it or relying on others for it? That's not a political question. That's a strategic one. So big picture, you don't have to love EVs. You don't have to buy one. But the global shift towards electrification is happening. The debate isn't whether it exists. It's whether the U.S. competes effectively in it. That's a very different conversation than, do you like electric vehicles? Next week, we wrap this series up by zooming out even further. The global EV race and what companies like BYD signal about where this is heading. Because this conversation isn't slowing down. It's accelerating. We'll catch you next time.